Helokawans, I welcome you to Immortal Part 2, a high-level D&D 5e game run by me, Little Cat, for my friends. And I heard there's a lot of floods everywhere. It just rained like the whole day. So please, everyone, be safe out there. Please don't get injured. Don't be stupid. Don't go swimming either. It's dirty. In session 41, the gang left their hidey hole. Well, it's not really a hidey hole. It's more like the gang left a very not nice place into a snowstorm that lasts quite long. They make their way into a thick forested area with a canopy wide enough to cover them from most of the sleet before asking questions to the person who was once known as Rita. Answers were heard and pondered on before they took some time to collect themselves and rested before making their way to the latest discovered spire. Zekin was monitoring the spire for if and when it should or would pulse in a wave of bad feelings and consequences. They left the spire as is to avoid letting anyone know they were there just in case, safe in the knowledge that everything looks the same as far as they're concerned. Reaching the bottom where they previously camped the night before at 3-ish p.m., they learned that while they were there, the spire hadn't pulsed, whether out of good fortune or other reasons. They finally eventually left on a long trek to arrive in Falsen in the darkness of night, just cresting the hill and approaching the valley. This is after one sleep, so later y'all gonna have to roll where everyone is at. It is illuminated, thankfully, making it easy to find. Sounds of people reach them before they see much of anything beyond a glow of life. People had set up caravans haphazardly where they could find space in the periphery. Merchants set up shop quick to capitalize on the abundance of needs and wants from adults and children waiting for their turn to enter Falsen, the city under the fake sun. The atmosphere felt lively, much more so than the desolation met throughout your travels. People were smiling, laughing, boisterous, or so you can hear. Not many were there in poor spirits. Perhaps it was the promise of comfort. Most people are dressed for comfort, casual, like it's an easy Friday, in a variety of colors and styles, a majority, though, of browns, grays, and beiges of farm and hinterland, spread far and wide under the matriarch's influence. As you move further, still far away from prying eyes, you finally see the bottom lit arch. With two open doors about 50 feet high, it sits neatly on the face of the mountain that towers into the darkness of night. There are 3 separate gates in front of those doors that look like checkpoints of some kind, with many caravans and carts waiting to pass. There's definitely a traffic jam, but you're not sure how long each cart takes to move by yet. Because before you enter the valley, and before anything, because I didn't do this last time, and you also had one sleep, as I mentioned earlier, I would like those who need to roll for badness to roll for badness.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Madness.
We
Our
do that
favorite
every
time of the day.
19, you're doing great.
No,
Never
we
bad.
travel.
You're doing great.
Eee! Not even any badness.
Shh, don't say it yet. I think
It's
that.
been
Oh, you're
multiple
fine. You're fine.
days.
You're fine. You're fine.
Badness.
Because Joe's not here, so we're not gonna roll badness for him.
Nothing
He
but
will roll
goodness.
it
We
himself.
walk right in front of the crowd, everyone watching, and then have 3 times badness together.
Everybody just buckles in sheer pain, like "Bleh," and loses a day. Anyway,
And then we enter Falsen carried on the ambulance. Success.
that's
Wow,
one way to do
wow.
it. You're not sure if that could happen. I mean, it'd be funny if we did. But I'm gonna ask you as you come in because I don't know if you've done preparation before, and the disguise self at will does. It's not. I guess it is sort of unlimited, but you're not sure what you want to style yourself as. So how do you prepare before you go in near to
We
the
were
first
just told
caravan?
to wear red, right?
Yes.
Okay. And did Mume want to work with Valerius to turn his random scrap into what
Yeah, some
like tradable materials, or was like
it's
that a thing we're doing? Are we pretending to be merchants?
yes, merchant, tradable materials, not weapons. Don't want to be a arms dealer because that means we will be have to deal with the military and all sorts
I
of stuff
don't
that is
think we
too
have enough
close, too
conventional
close
weapons
to
to pretend to sell.
too yeah, too close to the enemy if we are dealing with uh, weapons. So anything else but that.
Okay. So can we
Scrap it
have
is.
that done without Valerius here?
Um, I will say that there's not much you can do because you spent the whole of the day traveling and or resting.
Mm.
But you can take things out of the portable hole.
I think their plan was
Much
to
of it is
use
kind of
fabricate and
pre-scrapped.
the random scrap that we have and turn it into whatever
A heap.
tradable good,
Yeah,
like pots
I
and
think he
pans or
only
whatever's
has
in demand.
one fabricate spell, or
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it two now?
I think what?
If that was the
I don't
case,
think he
it
gets
could
more of
have
those.
been done before. What level is fabricate?
That's
You want to be mindful of like the time frame of things you fabricate as well, because they will disappear after a certain amount of time. So
Is it
blah blah blah. Fourth level.
fourth level? Um,
now,
Large or smaller object. Oh, it's just like one object.
yes.
Yeah, I don't know how
he,
effective that's gonna be.
can he
If,
not
if
just create a bunch though with like of smaller things?
You turn one thing into another one thing.
Yeah, that's one use of the spell. You
Yeah.
make one object.
You can't make one thing, like one big thing, into many ball bearings, for example.
Yeah.
Did Valerius give any specific instructions, or do I have to go and do artificer things?
It's
Do
entirely up to you.
artificer things.
Y'all can also pretend that he fucked off somewhere.
No, I mean if cause like we know that it can only make like X
One
number of
big thing,
things per
yeah.
day. Let's see. How many spell slots does he have? Do,
No,
do, do,
because
do,
there's
do.
there's more stuff you can do as an artificer than just fabricate. Let's
yeah,
just see. Fabricate, like you can make a
Yeah, he has
okay, you can
one
make
per
a
day.
big thing. That's fine. That's one big thing. On demand, tiny hut is good for setting up a vending shop. Fabricate is good for making a table. Okay. Arcane lock. Magic mouth. Like, uh, what I think he can easily pass off as that artificers can do very easily is be like a trinket salesman. Like magic mouth, fabricate, tiny heart, like illusory script, all these floating discs. Like you're selling like whimsy and like uh I was about to say Disney, but less problematic in implications here. So
Disney
like
on
you
ice.
can
Stay on
yeah
ice.
you can sell like he also has the what they call the first level spell yes magical tinkering, so like he can make a lot of
magical
fun
trinket.
yeah fun little things that nobody expects to do anything amazing.
He also can make a
He
small
has
like
infusions also. He also has
yeah.
infusion.
He can
He
make a
has
small,
replicate magic item.
Yes, he has all these
he-
things, but um,
but
Did he ever
I don't know.
none.
What is
He can take
replicate
pictures.
magic item?
He
That's
can make
huge.
small cameras.
ASI?
Yeah. I
Where's the
don't know.
magic?
Let me see what he infused. Okay. Replicate magic
Oh,
item bag of holding. Okay. Helm of
oh, right.
awareness. Okay. So maybe his replicate magic item is only the bag of holding, but that's fine. You are a whimsy, uh, trinket dealer that has a magic bag, has a lot of like little magic things that people shouldn't feel threatened by, and it's more fun to look at. Yeah, I think we can go with him as like a okay, he has a robe of eyes. That thing is creepy.
But that's on him, right? That's not what
Yeah,
he's
he wears his
selling.
robe of eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but does everyone see? Okay, maybe okay, is the robe of eyes covered by the disguise?
I would say yes. Because disguise self,
Okay, okay.
you can make anything look like anything else. It's until people touch you
Discovered
or
you until
or
people
sort of make an
discover. Yeah.
investigation check to be like, hey,
Okay, fine. Then I don't have to worry about the robe of eyes breaking the immersion of a whimsy salesman with like
nah.
15 eyes looking at you.
Well,
Okay,
also from
so
what you see in we'll call it a fairground at the moment, considering how lively it is. There's a lot of different kinds of people here. So aside from the fact that all of you would be recognized physically and visually, you would blend in otherwise.
okay,
Now with
so
the disguise cloaks, do they only change what we're wearing, or can we make it to make us look like whatever as well?
It can be whatever you want. So disguise self is a
Yeah, yeah.
glamour on top of yourself. So it puts another layer,
Yeah.
which is why you can also make yourself look one size bigger or one size smaller.
Alright,
Isn't no,
that's right.
yeah,
can't remember.
just
Something like that.
I no,
Yeah.
it's like a few feet or something, not a whole size unless you're a furbolg or
Yeah, no,
whatever. But
that's the Furbolg special.
just don't go too far in case people reach out to touch something that shouldn't be
Yeah.
there.
That is that is why I want to still stick as my race like anything that's
Oh,
fluffy, furry, because if they touch and if
Yeah.
they notice, they can discover your disguise.
you,
okay,
you come out as a human. People touch your face like, what is your face? You don't
Why
have
is
a
so furry?
beard.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There's also assorted low quality. Okay, so guys, can we agree, or unless you have another plan, that we just have Valerius as a whimsy trinket merchant slash entertainer kind of deal, and then we are just his like companions?
Travel companions? Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
I can be his spokesperson or someone like that. But yes, we
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. He can be his
Semi
talkie man.
tinker magician guy. Okay.
Good magician guy. Okay,
I'll
okay.
make myself look um kind of elvish, like a little bit like Toby. So it's just like kind of on top of my own skin and like my same height and everything. But I don't want to look like a young orc.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fair,
And now
fair.
looks elvish. Oh, Mume, Z can pick the picture.
Yes, so
Yes, I take
I'm
a
Yep.
picture.
because I don't like AI images in general, because of the implications.
Oh,
I would like you to explain what you look like, second.
Okay.
Also, Mike, later you will also have to, because I can't copy paste the stupid picture into Roll20 anymore because they don't allow that.
Uh, Also, I just pick a random one that I think is cute looking, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So what you look like? Tell the audience.
All right. So, as previously, if anyone remember, I picked a fedora as a hat, and that says what the glamour entails or hide what I am is I have now wear a tuxedo, but it's red red and white. It's very popping,
Right.
very hot red color with uh necktie and whatnot, all the way up to his neck. He is still what do you call it? Orange cat? Was he? Yeah,
Yes.
he was an orange cat. Yeah, he's still an orange cat. Um, but now looks more fluffier, more maintained, more groomed, would say.
more
Uh,
triangular.
More triangular.
More businessman looking.
Yes.
Yes.
Business
A
cat.
chubbier cat.
A red
Mm.
business
He looks
cat.
like he should have like a vague American Italian accent and tell you that
Uh,
he's sleeping with the fishes.
His name is
which I
Meowny.
which I cannot make that Italian accent if I could.
It's okay. It's okay. At the risk of offending so many people.
Yeah, no.
We're still gonna do it though. Okay. Michael, what does your person look like? I can see it, but the audience cannot.
So instead of a fluffy white mound, and DM, I will PM you something later.
Okay.
So instead of a fluffy white mound, he will look like a bugbear out of like a more outskirt town, where he has come to put his skills to use. So you can see him in like a worker slash tradesman outfit, van braces, trousers padded and tucked into what you call that, the ankles tucked in, and he wears a simple red cloak over his back. So he gives the impression of a slightly smiling person that could build up your house or bring it down if they needed to, all in good faith.
Huff and puff and blow the house down.
Very good. Busk and Frosk, what do you guys look like?
What is Frost going to look like?
See.
I think Bosk will use Rita's appearance.
Oh, okay.
So what does she remember of her when she was alive?
Okay, for storytelling purposes, what do you want Rita to look like? She's human, so
Okay, I'm thinking freckles with round spectacles and red hair.
okay.
And height-wise, similar height because why not, right?
Okay, that's what you look like. And Frosk. Does Frosk look similar, like a twin situation?
I don't think so. What would Frost look like? Hmm.
While you're thinking about that, have a think about what you want Valerius to look like, because you're all pretending to assist this fumbling, whimsical tinkerer person. You have Boss Cat, who is the mouthpiece. You have um a guy that looks like Hudson from Gargoyle, who is the backup. You have a sheepish girl doctor person. The siblings, obviously. All in all, a strange bunch, but nothing that takes away from the already strange situation, the carnival sort of atmosphere that you find yourself in.
Okay.
We make
For the most
Valerius
part,
look
we'll
like
just
this.
carry the heavy stuff and like just go around carrying behind them and look around excited. Yes.
Okay. I have also
How's
read
this
your
for
message.
Valerius?
I was just
This has
okay.
red on it.
Hey, Valerius looks like not really a trinket salesman, more like he's gonna con you.
He looks like a street
Trinket
magician.
salesman.
Yeah, what do you think a trinket salesman does? Come on.
And he has like sofa fabric
as a
vest.
vest. He
Yeah.
just has sofa
Yeah,
fabric as a
somehow.
vest. And a blue sash around his waist. I was like, why
And
is that
fingerless
here?
gloves.
Yep, he's definitely
Fingerless
a trinket
gloves.
salesman.
Yep.
He's a successful trinket salesman considering his entourage. Okay, y'all
Yeah.
rock
The
up.
trinkets will
He
break
paid
after
us.
3 days, though.
That's true. No, it will break as soon as he enchants another object. It's like ding ding ding. Oh no, it broke. Meanwhile, Aneho. So all of you get situated with yourself, you recognize yourself, and then you start walking into the crowd. The first the first sort of caravan you go past is quite big. There's 3 caravans um, put in an arc so that it protects from other people seeing in, sort of like something sort of like a wall. You see people, older gentlemen, sitting around. You see their wives talking to them, and you see younger individuals playing a flute, a, a a violin, and they're just dancing around a campfire happily. Further away from them, you see a salesman being mobbed by younger children. His shop seems to be selling sparklers, um, fireworks, although you're not sure what letting go fireworks in this kind of area would entail. You assume that it's safe considering, nobody's dead. You see 1 or 2 children holding sparklers, merrily running around. One of them does run past you, almost hitting you with one of the embers, but misses. And you see the same sort of situation further up. There's a big pot of stew bubbling. You assume that everybody who has some food has contributed to this particular stew. You see another person doling out water. Um, you see a tent with a medical sign, and you assume that's where people are being healed, probably. Maybe there's a cleric around, you don't know. And so on and so forth of the like. Zekin, you recognize that further towards the gate there is a little way through that is not going into town, and you recognize that that is the place where the more affluent visitors go to wait for their entry badges. It's very expensive there.
Mm. Anyone has approached us yet?
No, you just got in. You're like maybe 500 meters in,
Mm.
and this place is massive. It's like a convention hall for like a bigger Comic Con.
I see. All right. I guess I'll motions the group to travel to near but not directly going towards the what we call it, the VIP entrance, but heading that direction, but uh stop and or even set up shop near there without like uh making ourselves like we are going in and are queuing over there.
Okay, so while you're setting up shop, obviously this pulls a lot of attention towards you since you're now selling something. Um, what are you doing to persuade or dissuade people from buying? Because they
Are
they
we
are
actually going
clearly
to sell things?
they are clearly interested in your wares.
Oh, I'll say like, excuse me, I'm sorry. We are still setting up shop. We can't sell this yet. No, those are not done yet. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I keep
Um,
like saying that we need time to set up. It's not up yet. This is not done yet, etc., etc.
okay, while
Is
you're
the
doing
plan
that,
actually to sell things?
I don't know. It's up to you.
I don't think we're actually gonna sell things. So
No, we
we
are not.
shouldn't set up shop.
No, we are not selling things, but I'm trying to like grab the attention of the you know who.
Yeah. So we don't have to like set up a shop. We just need to exist, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So we don't have. So we won't be like looking like we're selling things.
Just for an idea, how long does this carnival usually last?
It's like
Zekin
here,
can
right?
tell you that this exists perpetually.
It's just a permanent.
Yeah,
Unless
it's
people
like a
stop coming
permanent
here,
thing. Yeah.
people will keep setting up, keep celebrating, keep trying to find things to progress time. Because if they do
Basically,
nothing, they'll get bored.
there's a small community built outside of
Yeah, I
Falsen.
get it.
So yeah.
The next, so like it would not be unusual for someone to take like 3 days or more to set up a shop, right?
Nope, I don't
Ideally,
think so.
well, if you, from Zekin's knowledge, there are people
Mhm.
who have set up shop here permanently. To sell snacks, to sell important articles of clothing, the
Oh,
like groceries and sundries, things that people
mm,
need, they will sell.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so I'm just establishing that it's not unusual for us to take more time to set up, that's all.
Oh no.
So we have our perpetual setup guys going.
And second, you can tell them that uh, basically most people don't stick around. Most people trying to get in don't tend to stick around for more than 2 days. Either they go in after a day and a half, or after two
mhm,
days of waiting, they get rejected and they have to go somewhere else. Or they appeal,
mm,
or there'll be some scuffle, guards will happen, just normal border things.
okay.
But now I ask you, are you
And how
going
how
to
many more days do we have on this guys left?
you have until day 46, and you are
Okay,
on
so
day
now
at night of 44.
so two,
Well,
one, possibly just one.
Yes, we have to make this one count.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I would actively like scan around to see if any one of the traders or merchants that is uh not just looking at us but like looking at us for like a extended amount of time, like curious look, like wonder what they are doing or something like that. Because I'm trying to actively seek out for the, because we are running down low on time, actively looking for the guys who are supposed to give us something.
Okay, my question is, are you sticking together or splitting up? Because this is a big place, and it is
Mm,
nighttime, and people
mm.
are swarming. I mean that in a
Um,
good way, like a festival kind of way. It's
I feel like
packed.
sticking together would be nice
It's
because
like
like
pretty well
they
lit, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty
Do
they
well
we
lit.
know what we're looking for? Is there anything in
they
particular you actually
the
want us
problem
to
is
go
that
look for that we can do?
the problem is that
Yeah. Were we
they
meant
ask
to wait
us
in a
to.
specific place or like
No, they said
anywhere?
that they will look for us. Like we have to dress as warm as possible.
And red.
And yeah, well, that's why.
When when they said dress warm, like is everyone here dressing warm?
Sure.
Because I assume
If
like
that's the
'cause this is like
instructions, that's what
outside,
we'll do.
and no, as in like everyone else,
Oh,
like all
everyone,
the people.
Okay.
everybody is dressed as warm as they can get.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
either
cold and
they're
snowing, and there's no
yes,
like eating here.
they're
Okay.
not protected. The only way they are somewhat protected is if they're ensconced
They have
in their
tents and stuff.
caravan tents and fires. But otherwise, they have to be kitted up properly, unless they've acclimatized, which some people have. It's like going to Canada and it's -4 and they're wearing shorts, and you're like, why?
Mm.
Yeah, no, they're still crazy.
Okay, maybe not -4 lah, but like it's probably like 10 degrees, and they're like, yeah, it's warm. And you're
Yeah.
like,
No,
what?
there is those people do exist. They're just crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
people like that.
nothing.
There are very few who are quite casual about the cold. But most people, most majority, like 99%, are freezing their asses off.
Yeah, so I believe stick together is better because what they say is they will look for us. So mm, don't want to split up, else they'll think that we are not together or something like that.
All right.
You can take a 10 and spend a while to go around fancy sample the fair, maybe speak to some people, or you can roll for um anything that makes you conspicuous.
Conspicuous. What's that meaning again? Huh?
Very apparent,
Stand out.
very visible,
Stand out.
stand out.
Oh,
Well,
so that is
And this
uh
is a group
what?
roll, so pick what
Oh,
you need and see how many passes and see how fast this person finds you.
okay. So
Because
con-
you know they are a merchant, but what you don't know if is whether or not they set up shop. But they're supposed to find
mm,
you, so maybe not.
yes. Okay.
Speaker will stick with the group, but like hover around and like try to get a feel for the carnival. Try to like pick up some gossip or hear some news or such. Just chat with the locals a bit.
This reminds you of Eflon Minor, actually.
Yes.
Like very much like a poorer version of Eflon Minor. People are having fun. It's very alive. It's, there's no depression in this place that you can see anyway. You move around, people don't really pay you much attention beyond, oh hey, there's this person, they're wearing red. Cool, how they get color? Because most people, like I said, are not well to do. So most of their clothes are browns, beiges, dark, neutral
Mm.
colors. Um,
Yep.
but at least
What
you
are
played
people
your
I
role
trading
really
in?
well. Sorry, what?
What are people trading in? Like, what are they using to buy stuff?
Coin,
Gold,
What
right?
currency are they using?
gold.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
gold.
like gold, like the gold pieces,
Yes.
Yeah.
normal
Um,
style.
Like
this this is the first time you're seeing gold being traded for goods because for the most part you've been trading stuff for stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you
We
think
have any gold?
I mean I have some gold I brought from inside, but
you guys
that's
don't
my
have any
gold.
gold.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have gold, right?
I don't have any.
Okay. Okay.
Does
Just
does
checking.
that mean that only like what
Oh.
Ziken has is
Uh,
what he has? That much?
when
That's all
Speaker
what
sees the gold, is it like completely different from back then, or how does it look now?
Yeah.
It's changed. The face has changed. There will be some coinage that has been dropped on the ground, maybe like a copper or two that you find that glints in the light. But before you can go pick it up, a child will just run past and just vacuum it, like nyum, disappear. But what you see is it does have the faces of elves instead of previously it was just the country, um for one of a better word, because words are not my friend today. Like the country logo,
The
Coat of
country
arms.
logo.
the
Yes, sir.
country logo, not the flag,
Crest.
the crest.
Coat of
Thank you.
arms.
Coat of
Yes.
arms. Thank you. I'm like the country logo,
The
Nice.
country logo.
like a fleur
That's
de
so
lis or
catchy.
something.
Faces of elves, is it one particular female elf or is it like variations?
Variations.
Okay.
Like
Do they look familiar?
not to
Okay.
anyone. Like it's so used that it feels sort of
Girl.
smudged. Like
Yeah.
like it's been rubbed a bit too hard.
Fair, fair,
The
fair.
the pointy
Um,
ears have been rounded.
yeah. I would like to, while looking like Toby, put on like my most charming personality and just kind of flirt my way through the crowd, like sticking close-ish to the party, but like a little, like skirting around, kind of see what the lay of the land is, kind of try to work a crowd a little bit and just see if
Make me
there's
an insight check.
gossip, who can point me to like some good places around the place, where the party's at, so to speak, kind of.
27. You're schmoozing your way. You also realize that there are mainly like barely a handful of elves. Some more disheveled than you. You're the cleanest looking one so far, and it seems that you're pulling a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
you're dressed up as Toby, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of women and some men who are approaching you, with
Mhm.
deeper intentions. And the conversations you have with them sort of lead you to believe that you should be traveling into the rich people's place that Second was talking about, and these people want to
Mhm.
hitch a ride with you. They're looking for a sugar daddy.
I see. And they think I am the sugar daddy.
Yes.
Look. They are misunderstanding because the way that Toby is looking and trying to flirt is as if he's looking for a sugar daddy.
They don't realize that. They see Elf, they're like, oh. They see Elf that dresses decently well. They're like, oh, you guys are wearing red, so it's like,
Hey,
Yeah.
expensive color.
Is red a special color here?
no, but it's just bright. It's compared to
It,
the peasants. Like peasants don't really get reds and yellows and purples and vibrancy. They get
Side notes.
browns.
yeah.
They get browns, beiges, blacks. Even the black is like not black. It's like soot. But being swarmed by all of these people and being sort of paraded around together with speaker in the periphery, sort of like like a moon surrounding a giant clot of red blood cells.
Lol.
You clock like everybody has a decently high passive perception. You clock a person now casually approaching your group, but making a beeline towards the siblings. They look
Good.
unassuming.
Oh.
You don't think you've met them before. It's definitely not the people you saved from falling into the big black hole with their dogs.
I'll grab some more attention from the crowd to kind of uh, divert from whatever is happening, so you guys can deal with and approach
Okay.
that.
How are the siblings dressed now?
The siblings are dressed as themselves. They are assuming they have been they are unassuming. They have been unassuming since you've met them. They tend to blend in really well. They're like average Joe, average Janes. Nothing is special about them. If you look at them, you
Are
look
they
away,
wearing
you're
red?
like, oh, I don't remember what they look like.
Wait. Isn't that
Okay.
kind of
That's what I'm thinking. So speaker will shuffle back to the siblings. Make his way back towards the siblings in oh, do you want anything from the fair kind of way?
Immediately Bureau looks at you because Van is in the midst of falling into some kind of panic because she doesn't like talking to people as much, given her lisp that she doesn't want to bring up. Bureau goes, Ixnay on the Urson pig. And he points, he casually gestures to the person walking close to you. And eventually the person does pop near and mentions Minu wearing red.
What was the first part? Hawk near?
Huh?
Sorry,
uh
you mentioned something hawk.
Ben and Veer said something that we can't hear clearly, like something
I
near.
said hawk. No, hawk knee or something like that.
Oh, Ixnay on the
Yeah.
Urson pig? It's just pig
Yeah.
Latin for
Yes.
check that person.
Yes. That one I got, but then the immediate word after that I didn't.
The person just comes near you after he
Mm.
was gestured.
Mm.
This
Okay,
person
so
went
what?
from clocking the siblings to looking at you as a primary decision maker given the situation.
Hmm.
He walks by you, like very covered. All you see is like a breath of cold air exit his mouth as he says, "Minu."
So give me a second. I don't remember any passphrase related to Minu.
Mm.
You don't have to. There
No, there's no
wasn't.
password. It's
We
just
Yeah.
had one.
they just
Yeah.
want to confirm that you get we know Minu.
Yeah.
I don't think they are freedom fighters, so they won't use that code phrase.
Okay. So does Zekan want to talk here or let speaker talk?
Okay, if if I'm allowed to cut in, then it's like, friend, yes, yes, I know her.
Good, because I was searching for you for the past day and a half. Well, not really searching, more like looking around casually. I wasn't sure if you're gonna make it.
The weather was terrible. I'm sorry.
Understood. Make me an insight check.
All right. Please be a good number.
26 is
It
a
is
good
an
number.
yeah.
He seems to be looking at you up and down.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm gonna make a roll.
Yes.
It's a d20 in 17. So he nods at you, and he touches his nose, which you can tell is him visualizing "I got you, fam." Perhaps it would be better if you and your friends. I suppose there's more.
The
Speak to me in my caravan.
understood. Uh, mm, well, tell us where, and I will gather up my people.
He gives you a location. It is further out in the periphery, um, opposite of where you came in. Maybe about 20 minutes walk. He says
Now,
that and then he goes, "It would be easier if you walked with me. Given the
all right.
number of caravans around, you might get lost."
I understand. And then I go and grab
All of us.
Gunlag, the handsome elf.
Good luck, the handsome elf.
Yes, yes, that is me.
Yeah.
Bugbear
I'm sorry,
company.
ladies. He is
Um,
required elsewhere.
he's a guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's taken.
Yeah.
He's taken.
Mm. He
The
is required elsewhere, ladies.
uh you don't have to roll an inside check, both of you, to see that some of them are quite disappointed. The women are quite taken aback and assume that you are batting for the other team. Which honestly,
I'll be back later.
with Toby,
He's batting
it's
for whatever team.
yeah, he's batting for the team that wins.
Yeah,
And you walk off.
whatever
20
it feels
minutes
like on any
later,
given day.
you get to a caravan and you're invited in. As soon as you pop in, it's warm. The person takes off his scarf. Like he just pulls off layers and layers and layers, and eventually you see like this very gaunt looking person with rosy cheeks. It's very off putting in that he looks like he's starving, but he's not. Uh there's a clothes horse and a rack for you to put your clothes on. He goes, "Please, please." And as he says that, you see his skin and physical features change to milky white eyes, pale skin, no hair. And then he shakes himself and he's like, "I really
Also a changeling.
don't like being outside in the cold. This is much better, don't you think?" And you finally see the interior, and it's got a roaring fire to the left of you, very comfortable couches and seating. And further to the back is, you assume, some rooms. Please have a seat. I
Um,
don't really have any sustenance for you, unfortunately.
oh no, no, that's all understandable. We are not really come here for relaxation, as
Yes.
you say. So,
I was told that you would like to give me a deal for some access chips.
mm, what were you are thinking to be? Well, what's your offer?
He laughs. My offer is I have access chips.
Well, Not that like what would you want for it? Like everybody wants something.
He smiles.
Like not sure what are you in for the market. Information, trading goods, but I don't think you need any goods looking at you. Like what do you prefer?
He casually slumps on one of the couches and pulls a knitted cozy onto himself and wraps it around him. And he goes, "Well, since you're offering so many things, so many different kinds of things, I'm going to assume that you have most of them. But you see, I trade in many things as well.
Hmm.
The question is, would any of the things you have interest me at all? I am a businessman after all." And then he looks at Valerius, as is he, fine trinket salesman, from what I see.
Hmm.
Or, and then he smiles at all of you, you can be comfortable and come as you are.
I see. Well, time is at the of the essence, so I believe
Can
that will be.
Speaker tell from his last? He says, "Or you can be comfortable and come as you are." Can Speaker tell if this means he sees through the disguises?
Yes. That's not
Yeah,
even, like, it's not even a hidden
yeah,
thing. He's
I
saying, show
kind of
yourself.
figured that. I kind of figured that out.
Okay. So, well, Speaker seeing that a changeling of all things willingly showed his shape, her shape, whatever, is also going to take uh his little headpiece off
Mm, yep.
and show himself as a white-furred bugbear that looks pretty similar to his current form, except the shaving is much more recent and close to the skin.
Okay.
I would do something. This is more brief because I will put back my hat. I'll take my hat off. Immediately, the disguise would fade from the top to bottom, and he would see that it still holds the same tabaxi color, but it's not as fluffy as it would seem, and the red goes fade away into what his leather armor is, which is like brown and dark, as what everything should be look like.
He sees you. Does everybody else drop their disguises as well? Except for
Uh,
the twins.
I
The siblings are, like,
yeah.
disguiseless.
I do, sure.
I
Yeah.
nod before
I think
putting
the
my head
twins'
back in just so that.
disguise is just to give color to their regular clothes,
Mm-hmm.
because they might not have had red.
I drop.
Okay. Second was saying something.
Oh right. I just review myself and then put my head back in just because I would rather speak in this different personality than Zaken himself.
Okay, okay. All of you, please make me an insight check.
Okay, okay, okay.
This is a risk I'm taking.
Uh is I do I roll for insight as well or
Yes, yes.
I
33.
rolled a 9.
33.
Ooh, nice.
Gunlug, you clock from this guy that he is very insanely interested in the people that he has in front of him right now.
Yep.
Like, so insanely interested. First, his eyes first looked at Speaker, who dropped his seeming first, and then it went to Zekin, and then it went to you, and then it went to everybody else in different stages of delight, and then he stops himself from being a child in a candy store. You see this plain as day. Speaker as well. Bosk, you have no idea. Second 22 is
Does
fine.
Okay, good.
does he seem to recognize who we are?
Very much so. But he
Yep.
doesn't, with the 33, he doesn't look like he's about to sell you out.
Ah,
Okay.
Well, since you took
Okay,
the
because
trouble
here's
to
the thing. He looks happy seeing us, which should not be the case for anyone that thinks we're still working for the matriarch.
Or he
given
thinks
that
we
they
are and
know
he's
me,
into that.
No,
given that
because like, given what you guys do, I think like anyone seeing a whole bunch of them showing up here in front of the thing, and if they still think you're working for the matriarch, that's not a good thing.
yeah, so
Of course.
as I said before, like way before, it's like they know you guys, except for well, the ex ghost no speaker. But I believe since this person knows about Minu, that is likely for to be the people who knows you guys to be still working for the matriarch.
Ben, you
Mm.
were saying something?
um, I was talking to the guy, but
No,
if
go
there are
ahead.
more, like, okay. Well, since you took the trouble to seek us out, I'm sure you had something in mind.
Well, I was told that I would meet some people dressed in red, and they had an interesting preposition for me. I didn't realize that she meant you all are the interesting prepositions. Half of you are being searched for directly by the one who must not be named. She has eyes and ears everywhere. The
Mm.
fact that you blatantly came in here. I don't know these two. And then he points to the siblings.
Wait, that mean wait. Oh wait, never mind. I'm wanted. That's why. Never mind.
And then he looks at speaker and he goes, I recognize you. Even if you sort of cleaned yourself up a little bit, you're still well, you're not what's the daintiest way I can say this? You're not eating people. So you must not be the Wendigo anymore. Just in case, can I have your autograph? And then he brings out a piece of parchment and a pen with purple ink,
Mm.
and he puts it on the
Also,
table in your own time, of course. Again, with such illustrious people in front of me, how can I not? I think I shall have to call for some food and drink. What would you like?
No food or drink for me, but I can give you an autograph. He will look over the paper and put a little paw print on it.
This is delightful. And he immediately takes the paper. What would you like from me? I don't take things for free.
How should we call you?
Anything you want. I go by many names. I go by John, Jeff, various names
What
starting
do you
with J.
prefer?
You seem to have stumped him. Nobody's actually asked me what I prefer as a name.
Names have power.
They
Pick
do.
one.
Perhaps that's why I
like
never bothered to pick one per se.
like
Guy. Guy seems like a neutral. Maybe my new pseudonym should be Guy Pearson. Yes, Guy Pearson. Just a guy who is also a Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than the last
Uh-huh.
one, which was Hugh Man.
oh
Well done.
I would love more
Salute you,
names if
guy.
you have any. And he takes that piece of paper, it is now dry, and he puts it in a picture frame and he hangs it above the mantelpiece on top of the fireplace. There. It's now perfect. Where were we?
uh,
Yes. And I don't know what you go by now, Mr. Cat Assassin Man, but
right.
it's funny to see you here again.
Yes, I have been away for a while. Yes.
more than a while, I should think. And I'm
Yeah, it's
assuming that
actually
you're here
20,
helping them.
more or less, yes. Common goal, similar direction.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Also, I thought I was being sick after, but I didn't know that she was seeking me as well.
No, no. See, I was speaking about them in particular. You
Ah,
are wanted for a different reason, which I don't really share details unless
mm,
it is paid
yeah,
for, unfortunately.
that's fair. I thought she was looking for me, but that uh that will be understandable. Yeah.
Hardly. And then he puts his chin on his two hands that are now clasped in front of him, and you see him. Previously he was standing. Now he's sitting and he's looking at you with his elbows on the table and just looking at you like a little girl. He hasn't changed or anything. It's just the demeanor of curiosity and eagerness. And he goes, I wonder why you would be wanted, or why you think you would be wanted by the matriarch.
Well, not originally. I know what I'm wanted for, but I was hoping to not get in her list. So when you say you guys or something like that, I thought I was part of them. But if I'm not, then all is as planned.
If they found out that they, and he puts it air quotes, whoever
Uh,
they are, found out that you're gallivanting around with these persona non gratas, I'm
Oh,
sure you'd
then
definitely
yeah,
be on the list.
yes, yes, I would definitely be.
Now then, this is more interesting than anything I could ever have paid for. I'm going to give you the number of tokens needed to pass through as the people under my service. Of course, you will henceforth, for the duration, be under my employ, and I do have tasks that needs to be done as I mind my abode out here. There are those lost and weak and needing of information still for me to meet, of course.
Hmm.
I have wares, and then he goes to the corner of the room and he opens a cupboard and he starts pulling off sacks. At this point, he just looks like Santa Claus, except very gaunt, like very tall, skinny Santa Claus of your nightmares. And he starts pulling out sacks of stuff, of trinkets. He puts it down. You hear crinkling. You hear, um, uh, like just the movement of objects. Various of these satchels will go to different people in the city of Falsen. If I can trust you to do that.
Hmm.
Make deliveries.
Yes. And then he points to Gunlag. You will be called Stacy Rose.
I'm not going to be looking like this.
No, of course not. Can you sort of imagine as you change into this person curly locks of dark black hair, maybe up to your chin? I wouldn't say an afro per se. And you're wearing a frock, blue with a white apron, kind of like a sheep herder. Yes, and red shoes. And then you,
And what? Why is this?
because there are people that you have to
I
beat. This will be yours.
I
And then
remember.
he brings like this very obvious red, sorry, not red, green satchel, and he puts it in front of you. Don't open
I
it.
remember image of that like from the stories when shepherds are more common.
Exactly. But it will be not strange to see in the city of Falsen, where people of various different demographics come and converge and have fun and then leave, which I hope that you would
Oh,
eventually.
excuse me, sorry.
Bless you. And since you caught my attention, Mr. Murder Catman,
Uh,
I assume that you want to stay in your visage of fuzziness. Would you
unless
mind
unless
terribly
you're
turning
aiming to be
into a lithe black cat with socks and no other markings? And your
no
name will
boots,
be
just
Boots
talk.
McBoots.
I know that person well, actually.
You know Boots McBoots?
You're
Yes.
very good at the naming.
I'm just surprised there's a person named Boots McBoots.
Well, not Boots McBoots, but the description I know of.
Ah, well, I'm sure it's a quite a common sort of coloring amongst your people. And then he looks
Hmm.
at Bosk and Frosk. I feel as though one of you is more independent than the other, with the least amount of offense possible.
Bosk will raise her hand. It, I'd prefer it if you don't ask anything of the other.
Ah, interesting. Would you like her? He turns to Frosk. May I ask for your name?
Um, I suppose my name is Frost.
Frosk, would you,
Yes.
for her safety, like to stay here?
Oh. I turn to the others. I suppose that would be safer. But whatever we're doing inside, we might need the extra person.
I feel like, permit me and correct me if I'm wrong, but Frosk, you're a simulacra.
You can tell that just by looking at it.
I felt it. It's there's an
Yes,
emptiness there.
yes, she is.
Also, those of you with a lot of Arcana proficiencies, make me an Arcana roll.
I have common proficiencies. Like,
23. 20. Anything else? Nobody else? Okay. 23 and 20. The way he talks and the house that he keeps is definitely bigger on the inside than it is from the outside, and how he sort of understands how magic works in general. Bosk, especially, you think that he might be a higher level in the arcane arts, but you're not sure how high.
okay. So the two doctors look at each other and then look back at him. We might take you up on that offer. Though in the interest of being open, I do have to let you know that our disguises aren't going to last for very long.
Hmm, that
I
will
think
be a
we'll have
problem.
this ability for one more day at most.
I could have you rush in tonight, unless you would rather encounter the wares and the people. Of course, out here is very interesting, fun.
Going in tonight works for us, I think. I was interested in checking out the medical tent, but
Good. Then, as long as you have the disguise, we'll get to that later. For the rest of you, I think you can drop off the packages. They'll let me know when it's done, and then you are free to be on your way. And our deal will be done for as long as Frosk would like to stay here.
Um, you have not a drop-off point for us.
hmm?
There's no drop-off point for us. We are just given this description of what we will be looking at. Who are we meeting, and the person is still unknown. Who
I
the
will give you locations, and when
all
you
right.
see them, they will know you.
Mm,
But you don't know. You don't need to know who they are. They're just dusts in the wind, people who have no relevance at all to whatever it is you're doing. I'm not going to ask you to regale me with the sights and sounds of your adventures because that is information that I could pay for. Or I could owe you a favor.
Question: if we have the permission to go in tonight, can we come out just as easily?
That is entirely up to you whether or not you want to leave within the confines of your identities or find a
From what
different
we
way out.
know, is it as difficult to leave as it is to enter?
Zekin, you would have discussed this earlier with them.
yes.
Going in is very hard. Going out is marginally easier because they don't care who leaves.
Mm,
It's how you managed to escape previously. Like you were wanted, but
yeah. So my escape is difficult, but because there are people who quote unquote allow me to get out, so that's why.
you also, while you were looking for this particular guy, you saw people who tried to run in. There are more people trying to run in than there are people trying to leave. And you think from a sociological perspective, especially for the doctors, um, an overly packed location is a right breeding ground for disease. So you think there might be some migration um, movement ratios that they're calculating.
Hmm.
So yeah, we probably still can live without disguise if we do whatever we come here to do with the amount of time we have.
Right.
But if
And
we
out of
go over
character,
that, yeah,
Mume has something specific that he wants to look into, right?
yes,
Okay. And you have like a place for us to stay and everything.
uh, sadly, no. This is kind of a rush job. I still don't have people inside the city, so we're not sure if the old lady is still alive. That maybe we can find a place to stay, but that's about it.
I see.
Yeah.
I think the bigger question here is, do we have a reason to stay in there more than 1 day because we don't know disguises wearing out?
Yep.
I think what we'll end up doing in there will take several days.
I don't think so. Package delivery is normally very fast, unless like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many
yeah. Like
packages are there?
delivering the package will be fine, but after that, we still have
Yeah.
our own business in Falsen,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is basically like explore the place and um deal with
Uh,
whatever kid thing that Mume has for us to deal with.
do you want to ask this guy about that?
Yeah, it would be good, Mume, if you like since you have something already, just be like, oh, by the way, I heard that inside blah 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 blah.
Mm,
He
might
might
as
not know
well.
or care
Yeah.
because he seems like he's based outside here.
Yeah. But then he also is an
He
information
has a
dealer.
lot of stuff in there, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Since he's an information dealer, so I'm not sure if he's gonna give up willingly, but I'm just gonna ask. So, uh, before we ready ourselves to enter Fosun once again, uh, I would like to ask that there was a particular rumor that has been floating around regarding children.
Eyebrow raise.
missing, more specifically. Usually this won't raise anything, but the numbers are quite high.
Another eyebrow raise, and you see him stand up. And he puts his hand on his chin and he starts thinking out loud. Lots of questions, no trade. Aha!
Well,
When he says aha, you see his eyes go from white and then the middle of his, where the pupils would be, become black. It spreads out and then the middle becomes white again, then it spreads white. It's like, it's like a hypnotic like circle of him getting an idea. And then he looks at all of you. I'm assuming that since you came from the outside, the hinterlands, that none of you carry any money.
That is correct.
I want to answer that question, but I also have questions. So we could play Penny for your thoughts. Either I answer your question and give you a question in return, or I give you, based on the question that is asked, a similar weighty return in gold, silver, or copper.
Seems fair.
Question for question sounds good.
If we can answer, I believe we would.
Question for money sounds good too.
Yeah.
Group decision then for whether you get money or I get another answer. Yes, for the
Nod,
first
nod,
one,
nod.
I will give you that answer if you answer one of my questions. Deal?
Sure.
If it is
Yeah,
within
fair.
our
We all
power,
nod.
certainly.
Right. The story with the children, all true except for the lies. I don't know what truths or lies that you've heard, but there have been children missing. Of what variety of children awaits to be seen. I've heard that there are children from many walks of life, or it's just child from one particular race. Unsubstantiated, per se, but there have been children lost. Have they been found? He shakes his head. No. Now, my question. How did you three escape the thrall? You were such horrid creatures. And he says this with such a delighted smile on his face.
I don't think there's
I
too much trickery to
Turn
it.
to the twins. The
Can
siblings.
Steve try to determine from his smile as to whether he's genuinely happy about the horrid part or if it's like a defensive mechanism thingy?
You can make an insight check.
Okay, I will try. Because I'm still trying to figure out how this guy rolls.
21.
21.
You're not sure how to take the smile. You're not sure if the smile came after the horrid people or the fact that you broke thrall. There was a split second when you could figure out, and then it just fell to pieces, and you're like, huh.
Okay, so so the boss is looking to the twins.
Those two, no offense, but are quite unremarkable. You now watch him get up, go to the siblings, and circle them as a vulture would circle a carcass.
I guess
watching.
people can surprise you.
Indeed.
If you would take my word for it, at least whatever work it is, that even before I found them, only one of them were out, and apparently, um, the reason for their escape is those two, actually, and I am not lying.
Very interesting. And
Peter
then
will speak up at this point. He says, I knew them from before. I had a lot of catching up to do.
And
From
to
what
be
I've
fair, I
heard,
don't.
if you punch a thrall enough, they'll come back to their senses.
Or even just
interesting.
over time. We were not always enthralled.
There was once legends, myths of people in good stead, supposedly helping the country one way or another, making sure everything was in order. And then, once upon a time, they were betrayed by themselves, by someone else. Who knows? And then he goes to another corner of the house and he takes out an easel. He parks it next to the fireplace. He takes out another piece of parchment. He pins it onto the easel and he draws uh, pretty much a table. One says platinum piece, one says gold piece, one says silver piece, and one says copper piece. And then he puts two in the gold piece table. I have never been one to not pay for information, even though I did not ask for it.
How
Out of
much did you
character,
pay
can
for the name
somebody?
of that organization?
Okay, I'll answer that, but I need y'all to write down what is owed because I'm not keeping track of this.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So
who is writing?
Someone.
So
So he owes
it's
2
currently
gold
two
now.
gold.
So who's writing? Because if no one's writing, I can write.
Right.
I can.
Yeah, you can keep track as well.
Okay.
The name of the organization I have heard, but I might be wrong. If I've heard of it, you get less. If I haven't heard of it, you get more. What, pray tell?
Aegis.
Aegis. Shield. Of course, it's an Aegis. I was right. And then he goes and scuttles off and writes one in silver.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
Hmm.
Peter will
Besides
think
our
about this.
enthrallment, what do you know about the operations of the one that had us enslaved?
She is a touchy, touchy woman. Immortal, per se. But honestly, nobody's really seen her in at least a century. She has you to do all the running for her. And all her underlings in Ice Root, of course. I'm afraid there's not much information I could give you about her. If you had any, I'll be very delighted. And then he looks at Gunlog. You, daughter of. Or does that name irk you?
Does it look like it irks me?
Somewhat. And then he writes a 1 in silver piece.
Is it owing him or
No, he owes you.
okay? The one is also silver. Okay, so okay. Out of character, do you want to ask this guy about Valerius X? Is it possible that he might know something, e- even though
Quite
he
possibly. He
doesn't?
Very
knows a lot of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. So
Uh,
he's an information broker. So
Is there anything about Aaron that we need to know
Um,
right now?
right now, because we know Aaron has been running, but we don't know like, do he know like where Aaron is, like where Aaron actually is? Her body, like
I
we know
doubt.
that she's
Like,
been
how could he?
everywhere.
Okay, the speaker will have a question. He says like, "Were you around during the time of Brawl?"
No, unfortunately. I am not as long lived as some other races and yourself, it seems. I was born but maybe half a century ago, and I found my calling, which is this. He smiles. My turn. And he looks to the siblings. How did you find out about these three? Um, uh, well, Papa said to find our own way, and before that, I found some of the letters that he sort of sent to some of the bore bunny ears from Van freedom fighters. Freedom fighters. Yes, and this papa of yours. Interesting, interesting. Perhaps given your situation, I might have somebody that I could connect you to. The glee in his voice is very apparent now, as if he's putting the puzzle pieces together, and he sees that there are places that he can slot in, that he can. You're not sure if he's doing this out of benevolence or he just likes to be in people's business. Like it just happens to
Uh,
be good because he likes to be in people's business. A bit more mumbling to himself where he's trying to figure out who goes where. And then he points to a bright red bag and he shows it to the speaker. The former Wendigo. I've heard of stories where somebody said you're some kind of god eater. I don't think that's true unless you have. But we might find you somebody interesting to speak to if you are indeed in league with those handsome devils, the freedom fighters. This red bag, you may disguise yourself as a rather large orc. Maybe your name would be Bornstar Jogaband. Yes. What shall you wear? You will wear a purple sash, not unlike what your friend Valerius came in with. Out of character, I'm assuming you gave you all your names. I mean him your names. Because he doesn't know your
Yeah,
Speaker
names.
would give his
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
speaker would give his name, but he would say a born star. That's a very different kind of profession back then.
Oh no, not porn star.
A bit close. Let's change that.
A little bit on the nose. You don't like that? Interesting.
That sort of name gets more questions than you would like.
Perhaps Smith? Very common name.
Smith it is.
Christopher Smith, then. Yes, you will seek someone, and then he scribbles on another piece of paper. This piece of paper seems to be scribbling for all of you, like location, who to look out for, but and bag, corresponding bag and person.
Okay.
okay.
So he gives us like the place and who like are we meant to deliver these all separately?
I believe so.
Yes.
They
You
are
you look at the
separate
address,
people.
they don't seem to be. Second, you can tell that these addresses are very far apart from each other. Some of them are 10 minutes away, some of them are like 45 minutes away.
Yeah, like are we meant to like split up and deliver each of them like one person go to each place?
He hasn't told you yet, but you can ask.
Okay.
You ask him and he
Yeah,
goes,
we'll ask eventually. I mean, he'll explain, I assume,
yes.
in due time. But now we're
Where
still
was
doing
I?
the question.
Yes, the freedom fighters. You know, I like them. I like how they're disrupting everything. Because disruptions mean business. I'm not a horrible person. I don't prey on other people's miseries often. I'm trying to turn a new leaf. Now then, a question for me, or I ask the question and you get coin?
Where do we get in touch with these freedom fighters?
He looks at you. That is what you're going to with the red bag. If they like you, they will share. If they don't, they will leave. Skittish bunch.
Mm.
So, guys, another question for him.
Okay. Anything to ask him, or do we take the money? Is there anything else worth asking?
That's
Um,
up to you guys. Let good luck have a turn, I think.
Yeah,
I
that's why I
think
asked.
there's also things we could ask, but I'm not sure right now. It might be something to think about, and we can. This is a game we can continue once the errands have been run.
Will you be staying out here? Or are you coming in with us?
Oh, I'm staying out here. I have business out here. The public wants me. They don't need me, but they want many things that I can provide. You'll be going in acting as my appendages, my fingers in the pot.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it
Right.
just these deliveries, or is there something else that you'd need us for?
Any information you find within Falsen shall be relayed to me. Of
Speaker
course,
asks,
payment will be
what?
given in due. He looks at Speaker, who said something.
Okay, speaker say, what's the current management situation of Falsen since the last change?
He laughs again and he looks at Sechin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you've left, what's his name? Roland, was it? He's still up and around, causing a ruckus everywhere.
Yeah,
Giving
you just
me
hear
problems.
you hear Zekan goes like click his like tongue.
I assume that you're going to have to tell your friends what this Roland creature is. And he smiles again with like just seeing what floodgates he just opened.
Hmm.
Speaker will
Sure,
look to
indeed.
Zeke and just says, I would appreciate if we didn't have to spend any unnecessary questions with this guy here.
Mm. I was hoping not to run into that person, but didn't know that he's still on the high up. But I will let you guys know.
Discussions. Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Now, a question from me. I heard from a little bird that could fly that way and flew that way that one of the spires are gone. I didn't even know it was a spire, it was just a dead zone.
Hmm.
Are
Fancy
there
that.
more?
Oh,
Yes.
So it
I can
was you who brought it down. Fantastic.
I can even tell you one would be fallen soon as well if you are interested in that.
Soon. And he puts one on a platinum piece for when you answer this question. Will she not go after you for the first one?
Wait, will she not go after me after the first one? Oh, anyone want to say this, or would I be answering it?
Speaker will say, if she doesn't like showing her face, she's going to need new agents.
Fair point. With a woman as with wit and wisdom such as hers, I'm sure she has something going on. A plot is afoot. Yes. I have so many questions that must wait. I want to see what you end up doing in the city of Falsen, a city with such a glowing reputation of warmth. Yes. He goes to the mantelpiece of the fireplace, just under where he has posted Speaker's signature, and you see him pull out from a little drawer that was hidden in the wall, and he takes as many tokens as there are people, except for Frosk.
All right. I Never mind. Since I'm going in, I might find him anyway.
These tokens are very simple. Um, you haven't seen other people's token firsthand, but Zekin, your token was made out of metal. It was more permanent. This one seems to be made out of very beautiful polished wood. And he gives you one, and every one of them has the insignia of Falsen. When you pass, they will wave their magical wands to inspect this token. It will say my name, of course, and I am a respected and well-loved member of this society, the periphery of Falsen Gates. And you will be let entry. He gives one each.
No.
Just remember your names that I have given you. I will definitely remember them. People with
Where are
an
you?
insight of more than
Ahead.
passive insight
Yeah.
of more than 15, he will not.
Okay, I will change my name.
Okay.
In fact, you're pretty sure he has forgotten already.
Thinking. Good luck. Any further questions?
What do you know of Myra's order?
For the first time, you see him scrunch his face in not confusion, in disappointment. He's not known things for a really long time, you think.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, there was a devout little girl, daughter of a powerful woman, and then one day she just disappeared.
Hmm.
I'm curious. Since you have been around, I am extrapolating from what your friend speaker has said. What can you tell me about how the events ended up here? I'm sure nobody chose to be ensconced away from a full plane into whatever this is we are.
Do you actually want a full story?
He nods. The childlike innocence and eagerness is apparent again.
And what do you think that story is worth?
It will depend on what you tell me and how useful it is for a population that might be able to capitalize on it.
Useful, probably not as much as you'd hope.
There will be a return of
Interesting.
investment for many things.
Moral propaganda, uprising.
Well, speaker will look at Gunlock and see, may I?
Nod, nod. But you weren't there at the end.
That will be where you take over if you would like to.
Sure.
So speaker has sort of caught up on a bit on how this person likes to tell stories, or at least tell something with a bit more flair than just fact. So speaker will in turn tell a tale of his own. He will. Do you have a map? Let's start from there.
He pulls out many maps. They are separated by 50 years each. And some of them are like torn, bits of it is cut out. I have many maps. He pulls them out, he puts on the table. This is the current one. Or so. Except, and then he pulls out the same purple ink pen and he scratches out Githard. This doesn't exist anymore. Like, everything he does is with so much joy that shouldn't be there. It's so misplaced. And then he sits down, go on.
So, what is the oldest map that he has?
He has one that goes for, and this one is kind of small. It is about 500 years back.
Wow.
It
Is that
is
more accurate?
it's you're not sure how accurate it is because it's 500 years back, and the reason why it's still here is because it's made out of some kind of leather.
Ah,
Okay. Leather. So speaker will look at this oldest map and he will recall the talk with Granny Fane and look for Emir if it's around.
Oh.
You see, make me a history check or survival, whichever one is higher. See if you can make heads or tails of the map. Because it's 500 years ago, things might have shifted or changed, or the orientation is wrong.
Well, even speaker wasn't born then, but yes, let's try with the survival.
25. Natural 20.
Wow.
Very nice. With the 25, you look at that map and you pull it aside and you take the current map and you try and finagle it so it looks vaguely the same. The mountains look about the same. And you realize where Ymir is, and it is the same as where Old Man Jaka pointed out. And then you hear the dude guy
Yes.
from behind go, interesting. I've never had anybody inquire about the ruins before. What?
Speaker can see off the map. Is it already a ruin in 500 years or was it not yet then?
You're not sure. It just says Emir.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
okay,
it doesn't
continue, sorry.
specify ruins. It's just like, and we're guessing it should be
Somebody
an
draws
actual
a
ruin.
map. It's like me drawing a map of KL, the ruins of Kuala Lumpur. When they find this, they're gonna be thinking that it's ruins now.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
But he was saying something? He say never had anyone inquire about the ruins before?
Mm-hmm.
Says, well, it wasn't a ruin back then.
As with many things, one day I believe that Falsen would be called something else, and then it will become ruined. Technically, if you think about it. If you call corruption a ruin, then it already is. But, semantics aside, who told you about Emir? It's very dangerous.
I can't
Was it
say
chicken? I think
because
chicken told.
they are just as much into privacy. But I like to know what you know about this place.
I respect that. We'll put a pin on that. You can remind me later. I'd like to hear more of this story. What do you tell him? What do you omit? And at what point does Gunda come in and say, actually?
Okay, so Pico just say about Emir, he heard that it was a kingdom before, and not quite sure what happened to it since. And then moving forward from like 500 years ago from Emir, like was Ice Root or Bror or like the places that he knew around 500 years ago?
No. The names that you recognize based on the map. There's no ice route per se. There's no location on the 500-year-old map called ice route. But there are settlements of different names in vaguely the same-ish area. For the most part, the south is quite uninhabited because it's very cold. Most of the habitation occurs in the north.
He remembers this. Okay, so speaker is going to use the time lapse of the different maps to move forward to the earliest point where a recognizable name is there. Like for example, if it's a settlement, he doesn't care, but the moment it's called Ice Root, he cares, or Bror or Efflon Minor, that kind of thing.
I would say a map that you vaguely can see that it might have been maybe around 300 years ago, give or take. Because it's not exactly 50-50-50. It's like, 1975, 1431, things like that. But this one has been quite severely burned in the north. You do recognize an ice route starting to take shape, but it's more like a little village, a stopover. You also see at this point, the city of Bror is starting to get larger than what it was before. Before it was just a fishing village. Now it's starting to look like a port. The boundary has also gotten bigger, but it's not a city yet.
Okay, that's it. The speaker will point to the burn areas in the north and look at him. Accident or deliberate?
He shrugs. Who knows? I am an avid collector. I don't question where things come from. If you have a map, I don't mind buying it from you as well.
We go on to that first. So here is Ice Root taking shape before it became a college. And here Bror is starting to shape up. And he will continue along the time lapse to see like when did other things show up as well?
You can tell that it was a gradual ascend of several key places that it makes sense for them to turn into cities where they are because they had access to water, they were arable, they had easy access to transport, trade happened there. It made sense. The only thing that didn't make sense was ice root popping up where it was because it's cold, it's arid, it's inhospitable, it's at the side of a cliff. Clearly, somebody who settled there insisted.
Flair for the dramatics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, speaker will point out this discrepancy. Also, at what point does Emil like turn into a ruin or vanish?
Yeah, when is it taken off the map?
DM is making a history check because I forgot. Emir disappeared before the 300-year-old map. Like, the fact that somebody knows that Emir is a ruins now is actually surprising because you don't see Emir on the map at all. It's like a myth.
Interesting. Okay, so he will move forward and a speaker will basically like as the cities rise to prominence, he will explain to Guy like what he remembers it being like, what were its important functions, and how did it fall into place within the story context of things, like a more story historical uh, overview than like a lesson, which would be boring. So he gives that story of things, and he will uh, talk about the Aegis and the Council coming up to oppose the Ice Root in their way, and the matriarch uh, finally throwing off pretenses when things came into open conflict, and her children were in dire straits. And say, well, and I suppose none of us expected that she didn't really need any of her children alive. And he
Well,
looks
she
good
needed
now.
them specifically to not be alive.
Mhm.
He is giving a mock shock face. If you really look at his facial expressions, it looks like the mask of Theodore, where the sad is really sad, the happy is really laughing.
Mm.
Like, he's a cartoon.
Can I insight check how he actually feels about the information revealed?
Sure. Make me roll. 26.
Speaker will like try that
26.
too.
You're pretty sure the shock is real.
Mm.
25.
25. You're pretty sure the shock is real.
I'm slightly more sure than you, though.
Yes.
Mm.
Just by a hair. You're pretty
No,
sure.
just to be clear about this, speaker is kind of low on secrecy because anything that people know that the matriarch prefers people not to know, even in whatever hands, is he views it as
Same.
a positive. Of course, this
Same. I
would come back
figured
and
we
bite us in the back later or whatever, but speaker's not thinking that
Mm.
way.
Oh, is speaker going to say the matriarch's name before she's called matriarch? Because I
Uh,
believe someone gave
I
her.
know that I thought about it, but I don't think it's useful since like he wasn't around then. And
Mm.
speaker doesn't want to say something that would bring the matriarch coming knocking on Granny Fane's door. Granny Fane's door.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Makes
Do
sense.
you tell him about Granny Vane? Or allude to
No,
at all? Okay, okay. Got it.
no. Speaker keeps that one private.
Mm.
Okay, so you pretty much give him like the Odyssey, but it's about you guys.
I'll fill in some dramatics of like some of the combats and the encounters we had to help add to the picture that speaker is building.
Yeah.
The story has come to a riveting conclusion, and he looks at both of you.
Well, maybe he'll cut out the part about eating Kel's heart because like the
Oh,
twins are here and it kind of like
I'll
detracts a bit from the message.
I'll include it.
Okay.
If you take it out, Gunlag will take full credit.
All right.
You can see that
That motherfucker deserved it.
he's delighted to hear that story, and inside your heart, speaker, you feel protests.
Gunlag is delighted to tell that part.
The delight is mirrored by your listener. If the story is over, make me a persuasion check with advantage.
You want to or do I, Gunlao?
Persuasion with advantage. I'll do it. I think I'm pretty good at that. Give me one sec to just
Yes.
toggle on my advantage. Persuasion. We're super laggy today though.
17.
Oh my god.
Still good though. You see him walk
Eh.
to the easel and he puts 17 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
Not often I get access to direct history and spoken, told with such candor, such mystique, such storytelling gusto. If ever this was a play, 10 out of 10. Yes.
Unfortunately, it's our fucking lives.
Speaker will immediately look up and say, "Are there still places where people have plays
Of course.
that the matriarch hasn't shut down or monitored?"
Wherever there is joy, there is strife. Wherever people are want of entertainment, there is play. In fact, there should be 1 or 3 right now outside. What the story is about is not up to me. It's about the those who wish to tell. Sometimes they have dance, sometimes they have prose. Sometimes it's just music. But essentially, a stage is a stage as long as people are watching.
Well, out of character, if we need to break the incognito, like, this is how we break it so hard it goes
Yes.
through several walls.
This guy can open up some doors for us, I reckon.
And
If
then we
we
probably
want
have
to
to,
really discontent sewing.
and then we may have to defend a city or two really fast after that.
Yeah. We want to raise this tower around the same time he starts spreading that story. Fuck it. Like, why not? Like, she's gonna be onto us after the second tower falls anyways. Why not?
Are you saying this out loud?
Let's
Yeah,
think
fuck
about
it.
it in character.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he hears this and then make me an insight check. Good luck.
Yes. Good luck wants this badly enough. She wants Mother to know that she's rebelling.
17. No, 20. Why?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to untoggle the
Oh, okay.
advantage.
17.
That's okay. I'll chuck the inspiration at you.
Sure, 26. Okay. You can definitely tell that when you said what you said, he recognized that you sort of recognized what he does.
Hmm.
But he's not acknowledging it. He's just accepting, like, okay, somebody's playing ball. Let's go.
Not saying we have to, but I think if we want to send a fucking powerful message,
So the speaker will say to him, like, "We will do the errands we need to inside Falsen, But after that, we need you to get us a nice stage.
All of Krera is a stage. You just have to tell me what to furnish them with. Also, I was wondering, surely those doll things that you broke, there's more, but how many more? And I'm concerned that if you broke another without breaking the rest at the same time, somebody would likely to get very angry.
Yes. Wouldn't that be
That is
delightful?
that is
We
actually
would
a
otherwise help
very
break them, though. Okay, there is
fair.
a requirement.
Okay.
Sorry, Ben?
I think it was 6, right?
Yeah, it was 6.
There is
But
6 total.
yeah.
We think
Um,
there's 6, yeah.
We
Did-
think yes.
did speaker mention how we broke the thing? Like, give the
Haven't
specifics.
No, he didn't ask for the specifics. He's just asked you if there's another one.
yeah.
He's very sly with the questions. He asked you 2 questions for
Mm.
the price of 1. Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're stupid in answering them. We're giving him everything.
He doesn't know speaker would probably answer everything for free anyway. but
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, he's a merchant. He's not gonna
He's
get things
figuring
for
it out.
free. He's
What
he's
did he
a,
mention? He said that
He
if we
asked if
try
there are
another one,
more, and if we break one more, would the like would it be what's the wording again? Huh?
He'll piss people off
yeah.
if
He'll
we
he'll
break
place
Oh
one
yeah.
and
he'll
not
place
all
that
of them at the
one
same time.
one important person off. It's not people. It's just that one bitch.
Yeah, but I believe to be true that it would piss her off. But the thing is, we also not sure if 6 is the 100% answer we
we're
have.
fairly sure there's 6.
So we
I'm
have
fairly sure there's 6 based
Okay,
on
Where
the
did we get the
information we
number
have.
6 from? Where did we
What?
get the number 6 from?
Because they're
research.
based on the design of the
Was it Aaron's
the thingy.
research?
So how you got it was the design of the thing itself, and the papers that proved the design, and
yeah, Valerius.
extrapolation from that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we looked
Valerius
through a
told
lot
me
of
that
like
before.
Valerius, and I think Frost was doing Frost was doing the Bosk stuff, and Bosk was looking through the papers,
Mm-hmm.
and that was
So
the conclusion
Boss
that she came.
and
Yeah,
Valerius
if
has
I'm not mistaken, it's either part of the lore questions or it's
Yeah.
part of the knowledge points. I can't remember
Yeah,
which.
That's fine. I was
it was
just
like the
like,
reading.
I was just checking that we have confirmed that it is
Yes.
Yeah.
6. Like,
Do
yeah.
do you want to give him a full answer or partial answer?
If
Well, I
it was
think the
possible to destroy several of them at the same time, we would gladly do that.
Like I feel like destroy several at the same time also would be very advantageous for us.
Yes, that would be the
You like
ideal plan. That's
Yeah.
why we
but
didn't
how the
destroy
fuck
the
would we do
tower.
that?
Mm.
Coordinate with people.
Or we can
Yeah.
just go
There are,
smash it.
Mm.
but then we can't do them all at the same time.
I don't think we can.
No, we
We
can't.
can't, but if we find
If
people who can,
if
we can
like
work with
if
them.
Mr. Guy wants to set a stage, like a fireworks at 5 other locations.
And do we think a lot of any allies we can scrounge up is going to be powerful enough?
We won't know unless we try.
Mm. That's why we are here in the first place.
I trust that this guy is untrustworthy enough to not want to tell the matriarch anything. I don't know if we should run some sort of. Last time we tried to go fucking shadow operation style, this is the result. Can't we just fucking go destroy it? Middle fingers in the air to that fucking bitch.
Mm. But
Piss her off.
he is a what you call a info broker, so there is like not sure even Matriarch is asking him for information or not, but yeah, it can be
Yeah.
it can be both ways because I don't think he has a allegiance.
No, I trust to tell this guy what's happening. He's shady enough. But are we willing to risk trying to run some sort of long con operation because it didn't fucking work last time.
What's
So
destroying
wait,
one more tower going to accomplish?
the security tighten up. People will come looking for us. That's
Might
the
destabilize the whole fucking thing for all we know.
like
Bureau
2
speaks
out of
up.
yeah.
Instead of destroying one tower, maybe we can find the locations of all of them and maybe destroy 3 towers at the same time. It might
That
piss her
sounds
off,
more intelligent.
and we might find out where they are. He sounds very unsure. Like this is a man's. These two siblings do not make decisions. Their decisions
Okay,
No,
have
no,
so
been
go on.
poor. They have just
no,
been
no,
very lucky.
no,
You're on a track of some
you
kind.
are
I
you are
am.
right. You are on a track. Yes.
I
If
I
am.
we
smile and
were
nod.
to have allies to aid us, we need to find the location of the other towers as well if we want to destroy this tower simultaneously.
Yeah.
So
Do we know how to destroy the towers? I say we, the collective, we, the royal, we.
Who's
we
asking this?
as
Um,
we as
Guy?
the guy
the
Pearson.
guy, uh,
Well, as
we
we've
okay.
explained, we've done it before.
But can it be replicated?
Yes, but not
I
by
don't see
anyone.
why not.
Hmm.
There are requirements that aren't particularly easy to fulfill, but it
It's
can be
fucking
done.
strong magic, that's it. You gotta overload it with magic.
DM is laughing because it's like it's fucking. Of course it is.
Of
He's
course
like,
it is.
It's
Not
a bit more than that, though.
complicated, it's just
like okay. You say
tough.
that, and then you see him turn into a figurative ball of excitement as he's waiting for you to tell him, like the. You know, in class, when the teacher asks a question and there's somebody obviously who needs to answer that question, but they don't put their hand up. That's what he looks like.
Ask your fucking question.
Well, tell me, how do you bring it down?
Speaker will look up and says, "Well, uh, he'll explain the three different platforms around the tower and the ball and how you need to channel powerful magic into each of those, like within a short time frame
There's a lot
to
of
remove
steps.
the shield."
Like first, you need to
Mm.
activate the pressure plates. Like okay, so the 3 of the beacons out of the 6 have these pressure plates, right? Chances
Okay,
are they're
so
frozen over.
so while you're telling the story, he makes
We draw a little diagram.
you draw a diagram and he does PowerPoint projector. What's that thing called?
Minor image?
Minor illusion.
Minor
Again,
illusion?
Illusion.
He minor illusions, but it's
Island
all wrong.
image?
It starts off like not what you saw at all because he's never seen this place, right?
Yeah, we explain to him so that it's correct.
So he tweaks,
Yeah.
and he puts
Like,
little
okay, blah,
versions
blah,
of you
blah.
in various places.
I'm sure Valerius can probably like
Yeah.
Oh,
minor
Valerius
illusions
also
Oh,
might be
have
yeah.
the
correct.
No, no, it's
he-
better if he does it because then he
yeah,
knows.
because
Sure.
Valerius
Okay, so-
also have the picture, the thing thingy as well.
Oh
He
yeah,
can do it.
Valerius will assist. I forgot he exists.
Okay.
Valerius will
Valerius will
assist,
explain it,
and then
and then the speaker will ask his questions. So, do you know any other people capable of replicating this with that kind of magic?
I might. You've heard of
That would be willing
swords
to help.
for hire, but we also have spells for hire. Not myself, of course. I'm far too valuable to be in this fray directly.
Of course.
Fuck. We can't just. They're not going to keep their mouths shut. Who knows who they're actually reporting to?
Yes, but at least those things will be destroyed.
Or would they? Would someone find out beforehand?
Well, we'll
These
make
spells for
sure.
hire.
We'll make sure that Either they stay quiet or they become dead.
Mm.
The information pipeline isn't a hidden place. Once you know one, you tend to know another and another, or you follow a lead and you pull a thread. So if I know a person for hire and they betray me, they will no longer be hired. Anyway,
What's the repercussions for betraying you?
well,
What happened to the last person?
I don't think I've ever been betrayed.
If it,
You don't have to roll an insight to see that he's very earnest when he says this.
mm, we'd like to keep it that way.
I can see that.
So there.
But if
So we
you're
count.
very worried, we can always put people that you trust in each team, so to speak.
That's great. We don't trust anyone.
Mm.
Even yourselves.
I do.
Yes, you do.
No, we trusted Minu enough to trust you.
Yes, Minu is quite a character, isn't she? Lovely little button-nosed girl.
Mm.
With no magic.
No, but she's excellent at running. From things to things with packages.
Very like, how fast is she running to go from one place to another? She
Fast
seems to
enough.
be
Focus on this. Can
okay.
Can you get 5 teams?
5 teams. I will see what I can do.
We still have to find the locations of the other towers.
Indeed. I believe
But this is
Mino has a
something
team that she is traveling with. I'm not sure if you're um, knowledgeable
Mm,
of this.
not sure if our team is strong enough, but we have to
we
check
don't
it
know
for
the
ourselves.
specifics, but
Yeah.
I'm sure
Team
you
together will
understand
take
that the
as much
magical
time to
requirement
find the
is very
towers.
high.
Okay, out of
Mm.
character, she's traveling with your team. Second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, they're definitely not strong enough.
But they should be able to find the towers itself, right? You don't need to be a powerful person, do you?
Finding the
To find
tower,
them, no.
yeah, no.
To
Do you think
approach
they're
it
competent
safely.
enough to do that?
They
Well, out
don't
of
have
character, shots
the.
fired.
Oh my god, I know.
Well, we found them the first
we,
time.
we don't have someone as skilled as boss to like to locate the zone required to find those towers, but yeah,
I believe they can locate them. Even someone without magic could, just from the feelings.
the uneasy
Given
feeling.
enough
Yes.
time.
I'm sure you've also made alliances from and of people who might directly help in this endeavor, who would be delighted to help in this endeavor. Perhaps I can send out my birds to spread the word.
Right.
Appreciate it.
At the moment, the bottleneck seems to be in the magic that's required
Mm.
to deactivate the force field. that
There
detects you.
was a point in time where she was thoroughly eliminating anybody who had access to a high amount of magic or putting them in her retinue. Join or die, so to speak. And he chuckles. But now it seems that a lot more people are secretive as to their powers, or
Question:
yes,
are there others like us that have fallen into thrallhood, or were we the only ones?
the ones before you unfortunately have perished, or so I've heard. Or it might have
And
been
there
a
were none
gradual
after.
process. Or they have
Mm.
retired. But no, the most tenacious of all of you were all of you.
names or identities of those before us?
No, unfortunately. Hearsay for the most part. I've been alive for close to 50 years. I don't really buy into hearsay. If they're alive, I take more keen interest.
Nod,
Like with you.
nod, nod.
When you disappeared, oh, that was an interesting week. Many wanted to come and look for you. For your news of expiration, perhaps. Vengeance, calls for blood, an eye for an eye. Villages raised because of you when you, and you, he points to Valerius. But then I heard that good things happened because of people carrying your faces, which confused most. So I stayed my tongue. And now,
I thank
right
you
in
for
front of me, how gleeful!
How did you hear about the enslavement?
With what she is, she doesn't ask things politely, and if you say no, she'll make you do it anyway. I've heard that she's done more for less.
Hmm.
So it's simply an extrapolation from my part and others that you were enslaved. It was merely confirmed when you
to be
started
fair.
doing good things, quote unquote good.
To be fair, your guys' exploit wasn't really small.
Hmm?
No, I'm talking to
Continue.
I'm saying to like Gunlag is like
Oh,
how
oh,
do
oh, oh, okay.
like and then I reply like your what you guys did is not really small, like a lot of people knew about it.
Oh, I get that. How did they know we weren't doing it of our own free will?
Oh yeah, but I kind of figure out that as well. So who
How
knows?
did you
Like
figure that out?
how do I figure that out? Like
Yeah.
you guys can be allies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh? I don't remember when. That was a while back. Out of character, I actually don't remember when was it. That's so long
Van
ago.
puts up her hand. Remember I was telling you about Papa? We thought that there couldn't be anybody this horrible to be going around and destroying and pillaging for nothing and for that long. Um, well, dwarves are a long-lived race of creatures. Half orcs, not so much. Humans,
Hmm.
even less so. There had to be magic there.
Mm. To be keeping you guys alive for over your lifespan.
I admit it was a stab in the dark.
Well stabbed.
She makes the polite cat face of like, haha, pun, but I can't laugh right now. I laugh later. Right.
But yeah,
Anyway, how people find out about how and where and if you are thralled or not is no longer the question. Now is how do we free ourselves? I can imagine. And he starts going off into like this very thoughtful um facial expression where he's thinking off into the distance. The amount of information I can gather when and if whatever this thing we live in disappears. An entire continent of secrets, of theater, people. Doesn't that excite you?
How
Do you
much
have
would
any
you say
messages
that's
for them?
worth to you?
My life, definitely. Because at this juncture, let's be honest, it's do or die. We can be cowards, or we can be heroes. And if anybody
be
were to
heroes.
live to tell the tale, you will live forever.
No, some of us might have had enough of living for a long time.
Speaker will extend a paw
They do.
towards him.
Sorry? What?
Speaker will extend a paw towards him when he says like the do or die part.
The paw is met with a handshake.
They do say the history is written by the victor.
That is true. Now, I believe story time is over.
Let's write some history.
Indeed, let's write some history. He puts one more gold piece for that.
Oh,
Okay, how much does he owe you? Please write it down.
okay.
Okay.
So what I have
So
written down, double check. 18 clad, 3 gold, and 2 silver pieces.
Okay.
correct.
He
Okay.
he simply puts his hand in a bag that is just lying on one of the couches. It's like a coin purse, those old auntie coin purses. The one with the clasp at the top, it's open.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
sneaks his finger in, and then he pulls out an amount of change, like slowly. It's like 3 platinum, another 3 platinum, blah, blah, blah. And then he piles them up and he puts it on the table with where the note is. It's funny that you came here bartering for the chips, the entry passports, and I end up paying you. What a delightful turn of events. Now, this is the list. These 3, and he points to the 3 furthest away, the purple, the green, and the red, have to
What
be
color
done
am I?
at once. I forgot. I have to watch this again.
Oh, I only remember my characters should look like, but not the satchel color.
I don't remember. The rest can do in your leisure, provided you still have the disguise up. And then he scribbles more disguises for each random person. I will go through and I will give you like the list of colors, but generally uh, the more consequential things is the green, the purple, and the red.
Okay.
Mhm.
The red is one of the
Gunlock.
resistance, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Gunlock? Let me double check this.
Good luck,
Wait, sorry.
signing.
No. She gave a green satchel to Gunlock.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the purple
Who
one is?
the purple one?
Is it
I think the
boss
purple
or
one
is
is
it?
yours.
Speaker is red.
Yeah.
Speaker
So
is
Yeah.
second is
I
the
think
Speaker is
purple
purple
one.
red.
is Valeris, right? Oh,
Oh, so second is purple. I'll put
Yeah.
purple then.
But I'll double check.
red
Okay.
Okay.
speaker.
The other 2 is like brown and rucksack.
Okay, so those are at leisure. Okay.
So anybody can
Okay.
pick it up.
And are these important? Like, oh, this person has to deliver this bag.
Yes, they have to correspond. Okay, so make me an insight check, Bosk, since you asked that question.
Yeah. I mean, because if this were just a simple like delivery task, you wouldn't have to get us to do it. So,
You say that.
other
And what you glean with a 15 is not much. You just know that this might be some sort of test as well. Like it's important that you send this, but the fact that you have to do it in a very specific order is like he's checking something.
okay. and we ask, like, or I ask, is it important that the specific person goes alone? Is there anything that we need to be looking out for?
Oh no, you can bring as many friends as you want, as long as you go as the person I have identified. That's how they're going to find you, you see?
Right. Okay, I guess we have to get moving then.
Good luck. Also, I owe you a banquet when you come back.
And the answer on Emir.
What? Sorry?
And information about Emir.
Yes. He... Yes. Yes, Emir. I will give you a write-up. It's an interesting space. Let's just say it's kind of a little bit haunted. And maybe people who have gone in there have not come out or returned. Or we've not heard from them again. Not the best, but again, this is just hearsay. I will have more information for you when you come back. Frosk will be here, and both of us will be thoroughly entertained with the entertainment outside.
Nod, nod.
She will be a lady of leisure.
Oh, make sure she does work to earn her keep.
Oh no, she is a guest. She is a Frosk. I'm so sorry. I'm speaking at you instead of to you. Frosk is such an interesting creation, considering she is a simulacra, but she has a mind of her own. Not often do we get simulacras like this. This one has self-determination. And then he looks at Valerius. Perhaps a conversation can be had about this later. In the meantime, as the one such as herself has such a limited time, if at all, and he gives Frosk such an esteemed nod, like there's an amount of respect there. Let's just say that, with respect, she will be a greatly appreciated guest. I will keep her safe. Don't worry.
All right.
Alright, well, get moving. And you remind me of someone from last time with horns.
I remind you of someone with horns. Interesting. Was he also a character? That question
Don't get
remains.
captured. Don't get captured.
I would not. I value my life a lot. In fact, I don't think I do any heavy lifting. But that's a story for another day. Out you go, and then he ushers you all out like herding cats, and he's very good at it.
Out we go.
And all
And
of you
I'm
put
a
on your
cat.
clothes, and then he goes, maybe try to tone down the red a little bit this time since we've met. Maybe, blend in with the locals.
I change it to black, brown and black.
Yeah, the classic brown cloak is good.
I'll change it to the color of the picture.
Which is
So
already brown
brown
and
as
black.
well.
He
Make
before
it
he
dark
bids
blue.
dark blue, before he bids all of you good night and goodbye and good luck, he goes, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and then he shuts the door.
Right.
Oh, that's what Bosk will say to Frost before heading out.
What?
Take
What?
care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
It's as he says that, you say the same thing, and then he looks at you and smiles. And this, you think, is the first genuine smile that you've seen. It's not overdone. It's not too sad, too happy, too delighted. It's just a smile.
Okay.
And then the door
Well,
closes. There's merriment all around you. The cacophony has gotten louder because it's been About an hour since an hour and a half maybe since you got here, and the merriment seems to be reaching higher levels as the night progresses. There is
I
now
am dressing as he described what I should be dressing as, by the way, while I was like with the short black hair and the whatever he was describing.
the curly black hair, pretty much.
shepherd.
What is it? What dress is it? I was gonna say Alice in Wonderland, but now I don't think it's that. It's like Little Bo Peep
You said,
maybe, because it's a blue dress with like a white apron.
yeah, so very
That
Alice
is
in Wonderland, isn't it?
the Alice
Is it?
dress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
that's
light
very Alice.
blue with
I
the
guess that was in my head. Yeah, so very Alice in Wonderland, but with black hair. Black curly hair. But when you leave and you're wearing this dress, you see another person who's doing fire poi, just throwing fire ones in the sky, into the sky, juggling, and she is also wearing a kind of out there outfit, like it doesn't match, and it also feels kind of warm now that there's more fires up.
Hmm.
It's kind of comfy. Like this place is nice actually, and you understand why people stay for longer. What you don't know is why people don't just build a settlement here and now. There must be some kind of policing situation.
yes. Permits are tough to get,
Yeah.
expensive.
I am also going to be Puss and Boots for now because I don't have to be the other person.
You will be
Were
Antonio
we all
Banderas,
given
But black.
but
Black cat.
black.
Yes.
Like Antonio Banderas.
With like Antonio Banderas. You have socks.
Yes, instead of boots it's socks.
Only socks.
Only socks. Is like there's no shoes. The leg is
Would-
cold, but it is just socks.
Okay, so with cats, sorry, tangent. With cats, right? The colder the climate, the more hair they have in between their paws,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the best. It's like oh
That's very cute.
toe
Yes,
beans
fluffy
with
paws.
hair. Anyway, is there anything you're doing before you go to the gates?
packing our
Mm,
stuff, I guess. Are the twins coming in with us?
Yes, the twins
Okay.
have never left
okay.
you.
Yep.
They will not miss this opportunity. If you said that you were gonna leave them, they would protest so hard.
Oh,
They're not wanted, so it's not so dangerous for them.
yes.
Make me
I
a
mean, we're
perception check.
extremely wanted, but we
Wait,
are
what? Deception or what?
Perception,
What?
perception.
Oh, perception.
Everybody, as you're
discussed.
walking through the crowd
Everybody.
to the gates.
Everybody.
Yeah.
My sheet not
27.
moving anymore.
27. Oh my god, so many
Yes.
27s.
Best of luck,
11.
y'all. My perception
Oh
roll
my
is
god.
not going
Good
to
luck,
be
why?
I started out rolling so good this session, it's
Both
just been
why?
going progressively
why?
worse the whole night.
good. I'm not
Okay.
good at seeing things.
11 is not bad considering what you're rolling for. The
I'm
27s.
distracted by the conversation we've had. It's
That's
okay.
true. That's fair. Bosk, you smell delicious food. There's a lot of like fair food out and about. There's like beef jerky. There's cotton candy. How they got cotton candy, I don't know. There's another trinket salesman who's looking at Valeria's like competition.
I should make food, is what I think.
You do hear conversations. If you were going into town, what kind of conversations do you want to clock at with 11 perception? Like, what is
Um,
important to you going
Oh, you're
underground?
asking me?
Both of you.
as
Oh.
we're going where?
As you're traveling to the gate, like, what are you clocking? Because 11 is enough to give you some information about people talking in and around, but it's very surface.
Yeah. Can I use my perception to kind of clock where are the busier streets, the more patrolled streets, the more observed streets, and which ones are less?
Okay. You
Like,
can't.
I'm going back to my broad routes
Yes.
here and just.
Okay, you can't really tell who is a policeman until you get closer to the barriers, the gates, where you see there's a lot of caravans still lining up. There's families. They look a little bit more serious. Like as you get closer to the doors, people are getting more and more somber and serious and quiet. This is where you see people patrolling, actively, in their police clothes with mirrors and stuff to check. But nobody's really using magic.
Cool. I'll go into one of the busiest lines because I figured that that's where there'll be the most people and they'll be the most tired and they'll be the least observant.
Okay.
Aren't we supposed to
You
be
go
in a
into that line,
particular lane?
but at the same time, Dr. Boss, you clock that every line is taking at least 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes per family, per
Eh,
caravan. So you might want to tell Kunlog maybe this is not a great idea, you don't know. But with Speaker and Zekid,
I don't know. Are we in how much of a hurry? He did say they were urgent, but how urgent?
not
well,
very
our
urgent.
disguise thing only lasts until like
For a few days.
tomorrow,
Well,
day
like,
after.
No. What we only have one more day, not few
Yeah.
days.
yeah,
So
but
we
like,
need to get
does it
in,
look like this
do the
line is
tour
gonna take
tomorrow.
days, or does it look like it'll take, an
Oh
hour?
no, it'll take probably the whole night because you're in a line of like 11
Ugh.
caravans.
Yeah, so we are
It's like
going to
11 caravans and they're all distributed somewhat equally.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
never mind.
Speaker will say before we split up or whatever.
we're not splitting up
After
yet.
we finish up our job,
Mm-hmm.
if we get split up at any point, we are meeting back at the guy's caravan,
Yep.
right?
Mm.
Yes.
Like if we haven't made any plans with Delhi, we should head back to his caravan straight away and not like spend more time in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So second and Speaker, the conversations you clock in and around the immediate gate area especially is conversations about the missing children. There are families here who want to get in as fast as possible because they don't want their kids to wait outside. It's cold. Some families talk about how, oh, if you don't behave yourself, the boogeyman will come and steal you in the night and do you not want to see your family ever again, that kind of thing, that kind of scary stories. Another one, husband talking to wife, wife talking to husband, I don't feel safe here. I know it's the promised land, but our kids might be in danger. They're about the same age, 5 or 7. Can we risk it? We don't have a place to stay.
Are the people that are going missing, like from what Mume knows, from they're getting taken from inside or from outside?
They're getting taken from inside.
Yeah, from what it sounds like, it's inside, not people out here, and they are afraid to go in now. But even though inside is the safe haven.
Fair.
And then you hear gossip from other people about creatures in the night skulking in corners, and then somebody else goes, you've heard too many stories. There's too many people drinking down there. Of course, there's going to be people skulking in the corner. They're pissing themselves in the alleyway.
Fair. Many such cases.
You
Speaker will try to catch on to this conversation and direct it a little bit, such as asking like, oh, that sounds like hearsay. What do the authorities say about this?
the old woman is like, authorities, um with whoever is spearheading the government or whatever they call it there in Falsen, I don't think the authorities are paying attention. She whispers this because just at that moment you see a policeman pass by and just scrutinize her, like give her the stink eye, like how dare you, before walking away. I don't trust them per se. They're kind of doing their job, but I've heard of, somebody in the upper echelons of power, they're very corrupt.
That's what's behind
I was like, oh, then what's the best way to like not get their attention and go about our own business?
By right, I should be taking my own advice. Don't talk about them.
He will nod and thank her and back off.
She waves. Good luck. Hopefully we'll meet inside. I have a cousin if you want some food. She makes pierogies.
She makes
That sounds
pierogi.
wonderful. He'll try to get a name and description of the cousin.
Okay. Second, you know that the name and description of the cousin is near the green bag.
Hmm.
Green
Wait,
bag
The
location.
location of the green bag.
The
No.
cousin is Inaka.
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 Inaka is the maker of the pierogies. I want pierogies.
Sure.
He
Okay.
ain't no Larry though.
Okay.
That's true.
I would let speaker know like quietly as quiet as I can. It's like tell him that it's in boss's direction. Wait, boss? No,
My
is it?
direction.
Green
No,
is
you know,
yes.
would
it
not
is
give a
in
bag.
Kunlok's direction.
Okay. You do wait a while. If you move out of one of the lines, somebody will take your place almost immediately.
Mm.
So
Okay,
you
so
go
I guess
into
we're
the
all just
line
lining up.
of 6
Okay, so
caravans, 11 caravans, or this is like supermarket trolley thing. 6 caravans, 11 caravans, or 3 caravans, but one caravan troop has like 15 people.
mm, my God, just really
This
like
is too
supermarket.
late. It's after 11. You're asking us to math?
It is 11.
We
It's
get Valerius to do an intelligence
okay.
check.
Valerius does an
Yes.
intelligence check. Roll for his intelligence check with advantage because all of you are now arguing about it because nobody
Yes.
Because he's
doesn't
so
argue.
intelligent.
Yeah. Also, while he's rolling intelligence, do you guys want? Oh, actually, Sha as well. Do the Roland speak? Do you want me to say it, or do I just tell them in text?
Oh, you can tell them however you want. You can do it in character. You can say, "Oh, by the way, this is what he said during
Mm,
the blah blah blah," or you can write it in text. It's pretty much information that your friends should have.
mm. So okay. Uh, I'll relay that. Generally, Roland's supposed to be this merchant, but he is not just a merchant. He has more money and power than any of the other merchants. And he points out that one of the VIP quote unquote gates are specifically for their people, etc. And he may be also running some things behind what uh uh behind not sure like he seems like he's more control of something more than just a merchant.
Speaker will ask Ezekiel to speak more frankly and on what this person does.
um think of him that I believe is the shadow government of Falsen, but highly corrupted.
So if there's kids going missing, he will know la,
And
no
I
matter what he
do
says in public. Like, he
yes,
would know what's going on. He's that type of
he
character.
he might know. He most likely would know.
Yeah,
Like
like
he
he's
he
competent,
runs.
so he'll know. Like he's not just some
He's not just
idiot.
some smug. Yeah, he's not just
Yeah.
some smug. But
Okay.
if since Mr. Guy, has pulled his name out, assuming that he still has the same position before I left,
Okay, so he was the person in charge previously as well.
which is behind the scenes, even though above ground, like people say this and this is supposed to be running the show, but he is the guy.
Okay, so how easy is it to get access to him and so on and so
No,
forth?
no, not easy.
I like how the
He
answer
is
is just how easy is it? No.
no.
Okay, how easy is it for people with a certain skill set to get near to him?
Second, you know for a fact that there are many hits on this Roland man, and he has not been killed yet.
Mm. There is a lot of assassination attempts, and none of it succeed.
He
Were
would
you
know. He's
involved
in
in
the
any of
business.
those?
No.
Did you ever
N-
try?
no, not that I have been called to, even though I have been eyeing and gather information about him as
Make
much
me
as
a
I can.
history check.
All right, I will. History. It is a 17.
Years before, when you were but a kitten, a man by the name of Robert picked you up. 5 years later, you came across documents that sort of roughly entails why he was running away from the police that day. There was an assassination attempt on Roland. You never really put
Mm.
two and two together.
Hmm. I see. Okay.
Anyway, if there is no more conversation, you finally find
Yeah.
yourself in front
Okay.
of
So,
the guards.
did speaker has any question to ask?
So question is, how does this rolling information come into play with what we need to do and their interest and so on and so forth?
Well, he is the the c- what I can say is the current guy who runs the show. So when you ask like what's the structure like, who is the guy that runs the show, I believe that's the answer he gives. That's why.
Okay,
I
and how can we make use of this information?
hmm, usually we want to avoid him or any of his workings because we want to stay low. Don't want to make anything noticeable. Goddamn English. Uh, Towards our direction.
We say
Uh,
goodbye to everyone already, right? Uh, thing.
uh, she says goodbye already, right? She has to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kunlak says yeah. Yeah. What, what was my train of thought?
Because this is me as the player asking, how do you make use of this information? And this is more important than the information itself.
Hmm. Because
By
I'm trying
information,
to
you mean like
avoid
knowing who
who,
is in charge.
yeah, who Roland is.
Yeah. Do you know what his interests are? Is he just like greedy
He's
dude?
greedy power type of
Okay.
guy.
Greedy, power hungry dude. So, and he has power now. So
He
it
still
is
has
in his
power.
interest for things to not change.
He still has power now. So,
Yes. So he wouldn't like
mm,
it if we flip everything upside down, is
yeah,
what you're saying.
most likely yes. And he may or may not be the reason why there's speak of maybe Falsen is under Matriarch's control as well, even though it doesn't seem like it.
Okay, okay.
Okay, wait. Let me just reply to this message to Ida really quick.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
I was supposed to avoid him.
Yes. So basically, he is the opposite of Guy Pearson. This guy wants everything to remain the status quo because it benefits him. Guy Pearson is
Bored.
chaos.
Bored. Yes. I understand where he's coming from now after interacting with him. Took a while, but I was like, wait, I see what this guy is in for.
anyway,
Aha!
I'ma keep you guys sweating, and see the short go through at the gates on. Do we have a game next week? Yes,
We do.
we do.
Should be.
Yes. It's only the 5th that we don't have a game. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for playing. Thanks for being my players. Thanks for listening, everybody. Back straight, chin up, stretch, drink water, walk around a little bit. And bye.
Sleep.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.